And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. Apologize for being late today with the live stream. Nobody's watching though, so I had to say that. It's funny to me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, man, I'm sorry being late for the live stream. You guys are waiting. No, nobody's waiting. I probably have people view the live stream if I did on Twitch. I think people don't really know what D Live is, so they probably don't want to go to it. But I don't know. I don't want to be on Twitch either. Ah, I just know D Live blockchain. I did just research on it and stuff. I'm trying to do new, or not new necessarily, but alternative uh, platforms, different things because, well, hey, gotta be the first somewhere. If I could, build up a following or whatever on D Live, and then next thing you know, everybody follows over to D Live. More or less like a PewDiePie going over to D Live. But anyways, whatever. That's neither here or there. It's just me talking. But yeah, kind of late starting the podcast day, so that means the upload will be late as well. Uh, just time management, man. Time management. I should have went up. I should have went earlier to the gym, and I thought I can go to the grocery store and knock it out real quick and put the groceries up and everything in time. Nah, it didn't happen that way. I mean, I guess I'm still like 20 some minutes late, so it's not too bad. But yeah, that's enough of that. Let's hop right into today's topics. You got an article here from CNBC News or CNBC website. Bitcoin is at a tipping point and could become currency of choice for global trade. Citi says so. That's Citigroup. It's funny because one minute Bitcoin is this, next thing you know, Bitcoin is that, and it's funny they talk highly about Bitcoin when it's at a level when most people can't purchase one Bitcoin. You notice that they'll say all the good things about it when it's on its way up, and when it's on its way down, crashing. That's when they give you all the news. Oh, go ahead and get out of this and stuff. But it doesn't even matter because fundamental principles of trading, investing, is what? Buy low, sell high. If you just stay on those fundamental basic principles, you're good. Obviously, always do your own research as well, but especially you're talking about long-term investing, buy low, sell high. So you wait for the dip to buy. Shit, I'd be waiting for everything to crash, man. Like, oh yeah, this is drop the price on all this shit because it's a fake market. You know, smart money buys when everything goes at the bottom. Pay attention in history how many people got rich after the Great Depression. It's those little things right there. So it says Bitcoin could one day, quote unquote, become the currency of choice for international trade. Citi said in a research note Monday. And we talked about it on this show before as far as XRP literally setting Ripple literally setting up XRP, the XRP ledger to be a reserve currency, a global reserve currency. Bitcoin does not even have the same principles as a XRP, XLM, anything where you can kind of go in and out of currency, and it takes about an hour or so for a transaction to complete, as opposed to XRP or even XLM being what 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds like that. And I'm not talking about a transaction being complete. I'm talking about a transaction being completed all the way, noted, recorded. That's it. Not none of that pending shit. It says a cryptocurrency is at a tipping point of mainstream acceptance or a speculative implosion. You see how they throw that shit in there? Or a speculative implosion. Yeah. I know people like Bitcoin, so I just it's iffy on me, man. It's something I don't trust. There's something about it, and I'm not even talking about just the principles. I'm talking about my own personal gut feeling tells me something about this. It says Bitcoin's wild descent over the last few months have forced big Wall Street players to reevaluate the cryptocurrency. Man, they've been doing that. They've been doing that. And I had a different article I want to show you guys too, but just kind of let you know, MasterCard and Visa are involved when it comes to cryptocurrency. When it comes to cryptocurrency transaction, I talked about how I paid for gas using XRP, that I bought some groceries using Gold and Uphold Inc. app and Uphold debit card. I'm gonna pay my rent using XRP. So they're telling you regulations, lawsuits, and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm out here using this shit like it's a normal day. Hmm. Hmm. If you wait until they come on the screen and tell you, oh, yeah, now you can finally use this, you're already too late. It's already too late. By the time it comes mainstream adoption, guess what? It's already too late. You want to be the last one at the party. You know, I shouldn't use that reference because some people do want to be the last one at the party. But it's like, you don't want to be the last one to know about the gold mine, right? You don't want to be the last one to know about the best kept secret, which really wasn't a secret. You just weren't paying attention. That's why I constantly tell myself every day, like stay focused on what you're doing, stay focused on your budget and your money management skills. You've been doing a great job. Just be patient. Everything that I know I've done and put in place will pay off. And I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I just want to live comfortably. Financial freedom means I have more money coming in than what is going out. And one way you do that is by limiting your debt. And I technically don't have any real debt. I don't really have no credit card debt, a house payment, or a mortgage, rent, whatever, utilities, a car note. That's life. Those are necessities. Those are not debt. So I don't have debt. That's the way I want to live my life. I'll make a purchase when I can afford it. I'll save up and make that purchase. Video games coming out a year from now, don't worry. I'll put money aside somewhere, or I'll keep that in mind and have that X amount of money for that one video game purchase. Kids got to sign up the kids for volleyball. Got to sign them up for basketball, soccer, whatever other sport they want to play. Don't worry. That's months in advance. I'm gonna make sure I plan that out in my head and I have that money set aside somewhere. And even if I invest that money, if that $1, that money that I invested, even if it grows into $1, $2, $3, that's still one, two, three more dollars than I had before. That's a positive. I'll take it. I don't care if it's a small victory. Doesn't matter. It's a victory nonetheless. I'll take it because losing $3 will feel like, God, some people are like, oh, it's not that big deal, $3. But what if you took that $3 and invested in something else, and that $3 could have turned into $300, or that $300 could have turned into $3,000? Hmm. You gotta play the long game. You gotta pay attention to what they're talking about in these financial news and this in the economy and these markets. All the bullshit that they say and they make up. It says City. Is it just Citigroup? I don't want to click on this. So it says Citi thinks Bitcoin is at a tipping point, and could one day become the currency of choice for international trade. Now, how does that make sense? If it's speculative, right? If no one knows actually who created Bitcoin, correct? Or at least they ain't telling us. So you have that in mind. We talked about majority of Bitcoin mining is done in China. So it's not necessarily decentralized. You can talk about the argument as far as XRP not being decentralized because Ripple has 45 billion. Ripple doesn't have 45 billion. Ripple has there's 45 billion put away from Ripple of XRP into a third party custodian. So there's probably some NDA attached to that 45 billion XRP. And then you have 45 or whatever, or it's 50 billion in circulation, wherever the number is. But as always, do your own research. Pay attention to how these things are worded and what's being said. It says as companies like Tesla and PayPal warm to it, and central banks explore issuing their own digital currencies, there are a host of risks and obstacles that stand in the way of Bitcoin progress. The U.S. Bank Global Perspectives and Solutions team wrote in a note on Monday. Bitcoin's future is thus still uncertain, but developments. So if Bitcoin's future is still uncertain, how can you say that it might become the currency of choice for international trade? You're just saying shit. Like I said, people just say things, man. Because guess what? Is it a lie? Or are they just saying something and they end up being wrong? Because these people flat out lie. It's a lie because if you know, you know. If you know the principles, you know what's behind Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrency and stuff. And for them to sit there and say that, they're lying from one perspective, paying attention to financial and economic markets and wherever the case may be. But if you're just a regular person and then you hear them say, "Oh, well, they said there could become a choice in international trade and stuff, a currency of international trade." So you're like, okay, and then it turns out it doesn't. You're like, oh man, well, and they come out and say, "Oh yeah, we were wrong. Sorry." And it's like, "Oh yeah, they messed up. No big deal." No, they didn't, man. These people put too much time, money, effort, energy into analytics, into using software programs, algorithms, trying to figure out all the data, collect all the data and try to figure out the best project projection models, wherever the case may be. They're trying to figure out what they need to do next. So when they say certain information, the information that they say when they write their reports or give out press release is for the benefit of them and the stockholders within that company, first and foremost. Every public corporation, every corporation in general, depending on how big it is, their first priority is to attain profit, garner revenue, and make sure the stockholders are happy. Even while I was at the grocery store, I'm looking at all the different food prices and stuff like that. And I'm looking at organic. I still, even though I talk about buying organic, I still check the labels because I know organic does not necessarily mean unhealthy or completely healthy. It just means a little bit less chemicals or pesticides than some of the other stuff. Mainly, I go after organic food because I don't want GMOs involved and stuff, and I don't want to go on too much of a rant because I want to leave that for a separate episode. But I still checked all the labels and all these different things. You have to, because these corporations don't give a shit. Because why would they? It's naive of us to think that a company like Citigroup, whatever, talking about CNBC, talking about Bitcoin, and all that stuff. It's naive of us to think that they actually care about every individual person. That's 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 being naive. Their goal is to make money. When you go to the grocery store, no matter what products you buy, their goal is to make money. In order for them to make money, they want to. Some of them want to sell a decent quality product. Some to say, you know what, we'll sell the cheapest product, and so that way we have more of a profit in return. You gotta look at things from a financial standpoint when we're talking about the world, because that's all it is: money, economy, resources. That's all it is. That's all we're trying to figure out how to go about doing that. The rest of the shit is just extra things that we throw up together. Because what is governing? Why we need to talk about politics if we're concerned about money? If I'm concerned about money and everyone thinks that, at least in America or Western culture, if you have enough money, you ain't gotta pay attention to the laws and stuff. Well, in that case, then shit. If you focus on becoming a millionaire, a billionaire, you'll be set. Under that premise, you'll be set. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. Economy, financial markets, resources. You try to look at things from an emotional standpoint, but these people don't care about emotions. They use emotions to manipulate us all and tell us, oh, Bitcoin might do this, or it might do that. They drop some news like that. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, maybe someone sells a lot of Bitcoin. Maybe someone buys a lot of Bitcoin. Next thing you know, the market is moving. The charts is going up and down and stuff. And here they are just laughing their ass off because they're playing a different game than the rest of us. Because it's to say all that and they'll say and still say and this is a quote: Bitcoin's future is thus still uncertain, but developments in the near term are likely to prove decisive as the currency bounces at the tipping point of mainstream acceptance are a speculative implosion. Well, no shit. It's either going to be this or that. Maybe something in the middle. I don't know. To me, it's already at mainstream. I don't know how much more mainstream you need to get it. Other than seeing Bitcoin commercials every 5 seconds, which I do actually see on Hulu, on on YouTube rather. God, I can't say that on Hulu now. I'm gonna start seeing Bitcoin commercials on Hulu. It says marks a change for a tone major financial institutions on Bitcoin. Uh, says but Bitcoin's wild ascent over the last few months has forced big Wall Street players to reevaluate the cryptocurrency. BNY Mellon, the oldest bank in the United States, last month said it would offer custody services for Bitcoin and other digital currencies. And see, that's the point right there. And other digital currencies. They want you to focus on the main popular one and stuff. But it's the ones that you don't know about is the ones that can get you money. Not too many people know about Cardano, ADA. I have some Cardano. I have some ADA coins or tokens that go on a Cardano ledger, a blockchain. Bought some around like 20 cents, maybe 25 cents. I don't even remember that when I bought it. I probably like a couple years ago. Didn't buy that much of it. Now you see that $1. Huh. Just like that, huh? Ethereum was what? $200, $300. Now it's at $1,500. They're talking about Bitcoin, but why they don't talk about Ethereum? I mean, a lot of people can still afford one Ethereum, maybe a couple of Ethereum. Sitting at what, $1,400, $1,500 right now, I believe. Why not talk about that? Or, like I said, why not talk about XRP? Sitting there at 44, 45 cents. At one point in time, it was at 18 cents. 20 cents. It's been 20 cents, 25 cents for the past couple of years, really. Majority of the time. Why not talk about that? Why talk about Bitcoin when it's 50,000, 60, pushing 60,000? They don't care, man. They don't care. They're not giving you great financial advice or anything. They're just saying things that will benefit them to make more money. Them and the rest of Wall Street. That says, meanwhile, JP Morgan has said it's looking seriously as Bitcoin. Whatever, man. I thought it was interesting to just want to point that out because I keep constantly showing you guys the different articles on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. How they just, one article says this, another article says that, one article says it. They're all over the place. Ignore the noise. Read the information, get something from it, but pay attention to the fundamentals, the principles of, or the foundation of which you're investing in. Because does it actually solve a problem? Does it have some real utility? How can we value it? Because you have your intrinsic value and your extrinsic value. If I'm saying that correctly. So you gotta understand the valuation of which certain things have, or certain things can be valued at. XRP, it's not about XRP, it's about the XRP ledger. It's about a bunch of different things that you have to pay attention to. And I'm saying this as I constantly remind myself every single day about these same things. Yeah, it says there are several hurdles that Bitcoin will have to overcome before seeing mainstream adoption, according to Citi. The entrance of institutional investors has sparked confidence in cryptocurrency, but there are still persistent issues that could limit widespread adoption. And institutional investors is what I read out of that quote. Meaning they're not talking about me or you, the regular people, the retail investors. They're talking about institutional investors. They're talking about Wall Street, PayPal, all these major banks and corporations. Let's see. Last month, analysts at JP Morgan called Bitcoin and quote unquote economic sideshow and said crypto assets rank as the poorest hedge against significant drops in stock prices. You know what that means? Go out and buy some. If they're saying one thing, do the complete opposite. It almost seems like that most of the time because from a financial standpoint, if I am JP Morgan, I'm going to come out and say, oh yeah, Bitcoin is horrible. You know what? You probably shouldn't get this. You know, it's kind of speculative. Meanwhile, I'm going to buy it up and make some money off of it because it doesn't matter. In the long term, you know you're not gonna keep it for a long time. But short term, if you can make a couple $100,000 profit off of it, why would you not? You'll sit there and say all the negative things about it, but at the same time, you go out there and buy it. You're telling the rest of your competitors, oh yeah, hey, this is bad. I wouldn't buy this. Meanwhile, you buy a couple thousand Bitcoin, it goes up, bam, you're good. But like Tesla, get a couple $1 million profit off of it. Add to your balance sheet. then get rid of it. These people are loading and unloading constantly. They're moving money around constantly, going in and out of different cryptocurrencies, which really are becoming more digital assets and other assets, stocks, ETFs, gold, silver. That's all they're doing. They're loading up their balance sheets and then they unload. Then they load up, then they unload. Then they load up, and then they unload. That's it. That it's a game. It's literally a game to them. It's literally a game. I just want to get that out there and something to keep an eye on and look at. Now we have an article here on Yahoo, which it looks like it's from TechCrunch. This man, I don't even know what to say about this. So it says the EU, so that's your European Union, to propose a digital pass for COVID-19 vaccination slash test status to help safer travel. Does that sound like freedom? Because if you're saying, oh, it's to make sure everyone is safe, is it a Thomas Paine quote or Benjamin Franklin? I can't remember. But it's like, if you give your liberties for for safety and security, you already lost. It's not. I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing horribly. Let's be honest. Horribly, I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, it says the European Commission has said it will present a legislative plan later this month for what is calling a digital green pass, aka a digital certificate, which it says will be aimed at facilitating cross-border travel in the age of coronavirus. You notice that these people are not trying to say, oh, this is going to go away and stuff like that. They're trying to get you to adopt the quote unquote new normal. They want to change your whole life around, saying, oh, you need this barcode, well, not barcode, but QR code. Excuse me, rather, you want a QR code to have in order for you to go from Portugal to Spain. Even though Portugal and Spain is about the size of Georgia, but you know, and this I put that in comparison. Universal law correspondence, nothing makes sense until you put it in relative terms. You compare it to something else. So you take a small space, which is Europe. Europe is small. You're take a couple countries like from Germany to Belgium to France, and you're not even going along the state of Florida. So in one instance, you could take the place or the size of the state of Florida and travel all around with no issues. But then you go to Europe and stuff and get a smaller square mileage, a smaller space, and then because you're going from one imaginary line to another imaginary line, you need a digital certificate. It sounds crazy, right? I sound stupid. The thing is, though, you're telling people you can't go anywhere. You have more freedom in an open world game like Grand Theft Auto than you have in the real world in some places, man. What is it? Grand Theft Auto, The Witcher 3, Watch Dogs, uh, Assassin's Creed, like Odyssey and Valhalla. Those are open world sandbox games, and there's more freedom in those games than some people have in actual real life. That's pretty sad. Like, as I say that, I just made up that analogy, and I'm just like, wow, that's kind of like, damn. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Actually, not even now in Watch Dogs Legion, there's not that much control in that game or freedom in that game either. But so it says President Ursula von der Leyen, I can't believe I even managed to say that, said today that the planned, and this article is from March 1st, that the planned digital tool will aim to provide proof that a person has been vaccinated. But not just that, the digital green pass will also display the results of tests, i.e. for those who have been unable to get a vaccine yet, along with information on COVID-19. And even if you say, okay, that's cool, we're talking about COVID-19, but over this past year, you know that these governments don't stop right there. Like, you give them minutes, they take a mile. Because first it'll be just a vaccine for COVID-19 or a test for COVID-19. Next thing you know, it'll be symptoms for the common cold or symptoms for the flu or your flu vaccination or did you take a flu test? You know, do you have any STDs? Next thing you know, you have your whole digital health profile right there, being ready to be scanned at every little entrance. You want to go to the movies? Oh, scan your QR code to make sure that you have no infectious diseases or anything like that. And once again, if you're saying, oh, well, you know, it'll keep us all safe, will it? Because that sounds like cattle to me. That sounds like what you do to the herd. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Not that it's about keeping anybody safe. It's about population control. Population control isn't just about controlling the population as far as the numbers, but literally controlling the population. Saying, hey, you go here, you go there, you get to live here, you get to live there. Based on your digital pass, oh, it says that you're only allowed to go in zones 1, 2, and 3 because you don't have XYZ shot. That's the fucking path we're going down. That's the road we are literally going down. This is no longer these Alex Jones conspiracy theories. I'm not an Alex Jones fan. These are no longer your wild, oh, look, it's not going to happen. Knock, knock on the door. They're already there. Because of last year, we all rolled down and gave up everything, including me. Like I said, this is when I say these things, I'm talking about myself as well. We all just gave up because it's like, oh, well, it'll only be for these couple of weeks. Oh, wow, well, the shutting down school must be that important, huh? Because they'll shut down school, but yet Target, Walmart, Amazon remain open and was allowed to attain billions of dollars. Oh, we gotta keep those places open. Oh, but your local restaurant gets shut the fuck down. But don't worry. They do this because they care. Remember, we're talking about money here. What company developed the digital green pass? Who's doing the algorithms or the hash algorithms, your encrypted algorithms and stuff like that for these digital certificates? Who's setting up this network? Does it go on a regular network, the internet, or is it on a classified government network, as far as like your SIPR network or your SIPRnet, which is like secrets? I forget what the acronym is, but it's more secret, classified, just separate network of computers and stuff, as far as being on the internet. So this just sets up a slippery slope that we are seeing. You can see it in the cancel culture, like, hey, you do this, next thing you know is this, next thing you know is that, next thing you know is that, next thing you know, it just goes on and on and on, and it's like once again, it's a never-ending story. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't want my kids, I don't want my grandkids, hell, I don't want fucking you to live in a world like that. You, the anonymous person that's listening to me, I don't want you to live in a world like that. No matter what part of the world you're at, and I see where everybody listening at across the world and stuff, I don't want you guys to be living in a world like that either. Where you're constricted and someone is telling you what to do. No one gives me authority over me but me. Now, if you believe in your supreme being, your deity, your God, your religious, that's fine. But don't let no man, a woman, another human being tell you what you can and cannot do. Because guess what? That's how Nazi Germany happened. That's how Stalin was able to take over. That's how all your Mussolini, all your so-called dictators around the world and stuff throughout human history. Or I'm sorry, I'm only speaking about modern human history. I can go further back. We haven't touched on anything about not Anunnaki, the beings from the sky, where your first in Mesopotamia, where your first agricultural civilization came from in the modern history. We haven't talked about that. You want to talk about rulers and stuff like that. The human species of modern Homo sapiens sapiens are set up. We're always looking for a leader. We're looking for a ruler. We're looking for someone to tell us what to do because we are just too lazy to stop and think and how to stop and think and try to figure out how to live our own lives and govern ourselves. It's laziness. That's all it is. That goes on me too. It's laziness. Sitting here saying, oh yeah, well these people made these laws and stuff like that. I don't really like this stuff, but about it's laziness. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. So don't think I'm sitting here trying to preach to anybody. I'm just talking out loud because really what I'm doing is preaching to myself. I'm telling myself, hey, what is wrong with you? You need to pay attention. Don't sit here and fall for this shit when they say a digital green pass. A fucking digital green pass. What do you think? I'm going to goddamn Disney World? No. I'm walking around the streets. You telling me I can't go visit friends and family members without my little digital green pass? What it says, the proof that a person has been vaccinated. So right there and there, they force you to get vaccinated because in order to move about freely, you need to have your digital green pass, and your digital green pass says whether or not you've been vaccinated. So they force you to get vaccinated, and if you haven't got a vaccine, then you're forced to get the COVID-19 test. So now you gotta get tested. You gotta get tested and vaccinated. But what if you get vaccinated and you still get sick? Kind of defeats the whole purpose of getting vaccinated, right? Oh no, you're getting vaccinated, so you'll be able to handle the disease if you do get catch the virus. But at the same time, no vaccination has the same survivability rate of 99.98%, whatever the number is. None of these vaccines work. And now you have Johnson and Johnson with a one-dose vaccine. Oh, they have a one-dose vaccine? Somebody on Twitter tried to tell me, oh yeah, because all the people around the world came together and was able to create a vaccine. It's funny because several different corporations are releasing their own version, their own trademark vaccine for COVID-19. So how is it everyone coming together around the world? Why some vaccines 3 doses, why some vaccines 2 doses, and now you have Johnson Johnson's like, nah, fuck all that. We're gonna come at you with 1 dose. Kind of sounds like a marketing plan, right? Kind of sounds like these people are profiting off of others' fear of getting sick. Doesn't sound pretty humane, does it? Doesn't sound pretty ethical either, do you think? These people are making billions of dollars selling you a vaccine knowing damn well you don't need it. Like how, it doesn't get more fucked up than that. It really doesn't, man. They're selling you a vaccine knowing damn well you don't need it. They want kids to get vaccinated. Why? Why do kids need to get vaccinated when they already said that kids are the least ones to get sick? Oh, but don't worry, they're a carrier, so they can get you sick. I'm sorry, if I get sick, that's okay. Because as long as my kids don't get sick, I'm good. Because I believe in myself and my immune system that I can fight through it and live to continue to go on with my life and fight another day. They don't care about the kids anyway, so it's not like it's a big deal for them. Let's see what else this article says. It says the digital green pass should facilitate Europeans' lives. She also said the aim is to gradually enable them to move safely in the European Union or abroad for work or tourism. Safely. It's funny because as I read that word safely, all I heard in my head was freely. Freely. Because the aim is to gradually enable them to move freely, not safely. I don't care what they want to say in the quote. Safely, freely, freely. You cannot sacrifice safety for freedoms. You can't. You can't because when you give up your freedom for safety, you're giving up your rule to your ability to govern yourself. You're giving up your ability to say, no, I know what's best for me, the individual. You do which is best for you. You hear people say sometimes like, "Oh, don't mind your business. Pay attention to what you're doing." That's all good and dandy when we're talking about social things, but when we're talking about a virus and stuff like that, all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." And I'm one of those people who's like, "Oh, maybe we should worry about everyone else." But I started to think about, it's like, how can I worry about you when I don't know what you're doing? I don't know if you're taking the same type of, I don't want to say precautions. Nah, it's not precautions. I don't know if you're taking care of your body the same way I'm trying to take care of my body. So how can I help you if you're not even helping yourself first? But don't worry, they want to give you a vaccine to help you. They want to give you a vaccine to help you, but they don't want to tell you to get your ass up off the couch and fucking move around and exercise. They don't want to tell you to go out and get some sun. They don't want to tell you that spending time with your family and friends boosts your immune system as well. Oh my God. Because we're social creatures, so you get that homeostasis, that balance and chemical balance of your body and stuff. Part of being around other people makes you feel good. You feel good, guess what? Your body starts to feel good as well. You can call it spirituality. You can call it lucid medicine or alternative medicine. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I mean, actually, call it science. Call it science. I could be wrong though. That could be wrong, but it shouldn't bother me if I am or not, because that's the choice I made. Notice I say things, and I know it sounds crazy, but and I say, I could be wrong. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong because I'm okay with that. I am wrong. If I am wrong, that means I can fix it. You see that? I put the responsibility on me. I put the accountability on myself. If I fuck up and make a mistake, that's okay because I know what I can do to make it better. But if I put my choices in someone else's hands, then who would I have to blame? Them or me? Probably both. Because I gotta blame myself for listening to someone else to tell me what I need to do about my body. And then I gotta blame them because you know what? They don't even care to begin with anyway, because they actually take the time to understand the chemical makeup of my body, understand my routine, understand the environment in which I have grown up in and still live in today, or live in today, whether I moved around or not. We want people to tell us what to do with our bodies. Yet nobody wants people to tell them to do with their body when it comes to abortion. I think that's funny. I just think it's funny. Whether or not I agree with it, fuck it. It's funny. My phone. I'm checking the text message. I know it's about my medical appointment tomorrow, which ain't a medical appointment. Is to see the cannabis marijuana doctor because the stupid law that you got to see him every 6 months. Oh yeah, yeah. I still have depression. I still have indigestion. I still got muscle pain and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I still need my weed. I know this is my first time going to it, so it's interesting to me. It's funny too because in order to get medical marijuana, I have to talk to a doctor or whatever, and all this other stuff. And I'm a vet anyway, so I just show them my VA disability. Bam, that's it. And so shit didn't take that long. It was like a 20-minute. This is probably one of the quickest medical appointments I ever had in my life. At the same time, I have to ask people to say, "Hey, can I have this plant that grows in the backyard? Can I have this? Can I break off this plant and smoke it? Can nip off the buzz of this hemp plant and can I smoke this? Is that okay?" I'm asking permission to smoke grass, to smoke a plant. And you can say, "Oh, it's worse than that." It's just no, man. It really is that. It really is that. You're asking permission to do things that are simple. Wait a minute. Story continues. We'll see if I could. Okay, I was about to say, don't go somewhere else. Oh, it's pretty long and lengthy, unnecessarily though. Let's see what else it says. The EU's executive is keen on a pan EU system to set up to avoid fragmentation of the block single markets. For my listeners over there in Europe and stuff, I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all. I see a lot of people revolting on the news outlets and different things I see on Twitter and on Gab. People revolting in Germany, I think Belgium, some other places and stuff. They're tired of these lockdowns. Obviously, places in Australia maybe, I think so as well. People are tired of lockdowns, restrictions, all different things. They don't want to get a vaccine. Hey, y'all keep up the good fight because, and the fight is being able to decide what to do with your own life. These people are literally trying to tell us what to do with our own lives. And that's what really is disturbing, that there's no end in sight. We talked about before the Agenda 2030. There's 17 goals on what they need to do to make the world a better place. Yeah, yeah. 17, right? 17 goals. Q, 17th letter of the alphabet. Huh. Wild. The executive says are to avoid a third party commercial. Wait, huh? Okay, let me read this again. The EU's executive is keen for a pan EU system to be set up to avoid fragmentation of the bloc single market, such as if an individual member state strikes their own bilateral deals, or to avoid a third party commercial system gaining ground. Early this year, a number of tech companies announced they were working to establish a universal standard for a vaccine status. Well, of course, because there's money to be made, there's money to be made. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It says the commission will release its details of the legislative plan on March 17th. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for that because I know those majority of my listeners are in the United States, but still pay attention to what's going on around the world, man. Because clearly, if it happens over there, it's only a matter of time before they try to bring that shit over here. I'm not doing it. I can't have no digital green pass telling me where I can and cannot go. I can't. I can't do it. I just can't do it, man. I have a real problem with authority, and this is too authoritarian. What? It says last month Apple said it was tightening up the iOS review process around vaccine passes, saying developers will now be required to work with entities recognized by public health authorities. So, once again, tech, government, and private corporations are working together. They're all the same. They're all the same. They all go hand in hand. So at one point in time, one would try to devour the other. More than likely, corporations would try to take over and become governments. Although, kind of argue governments are already corporations, anyways. Legally, they are. So, whatever. You just gonna, instead of us being able to pretend that we're electing people, there won't be no more pretending that we're electing anybody. That's the only difference, because when you're talking about private corporations, even your so-called public corporations, what it comes down to is these people aren't elected. We have no process in electing, selecting any of that. I mean, really, we don't have no process in selecting, electing our presidents and not Democrat, but our representation in America anyway. So clearly, elections, your vote doesn't count anyways. Like, right? Imagine thinking your vote actually counted. Imagine thinking that they actually think that you're smart enough to go out there and make a vote because they think you really matter and you make a difference. It's pandering, man. It's pandering. Let's see what else it says. The BBC reported that Apple had made the change to ensure these apps responsibly handle sensitive data and provide reliable functionality. Yeah, because Apple is the best of data, of handling data. Come on, man. Data, the number one commodity. If they have your whole medical records and all stuff, it's funny because medical records are supposed to be private in America as far as your HIPAA laws and stuff. Yet I now can tell people whether or not I've been vaccinated, and you can scan my barcode or my QR code to know if I've been vaccinated. It kind of goes into my, I don't know, medical records, right? But it doesn't matter because we're all about the safety of everybody. Yeah, bullshit. And see how I was talking about how things relate. You're talking about the digital green pass, European Union, but then you have this. This is from abc7.com. It looks like it's Los Angeles. It says that LAUSD. I don't even know what that is. What's that? Los Angeles. Okay, the Los Angeles Unified School District. That don't even sound right. Why do you have to put the word unified if they are unified? They're unified. I don't even know if it sounds right. I'm definitely gonna get a copyright law strike for this shit, but whatever. We'll go ahead and play a stupid little ad. So it says the LAUSD, so your Los Angeles Unified School District, unveils app to coordinate coronavirus. Oh, what? So the video and the ad are hand in hand? Hmm. You know, I'm not even gonna play the video. Fuck the video. Just read the article. Unveils apps to coordinate coronavirus factors and step toward reopening campuses. It says, oh my God, stop playing all this shit. The Los Angeles Unified School District on Monday announced the launch of quote unquote daily pass. That's what I put in the title, digital/daily pass, because like because they changed the name, it's still a pass. They're still saying you're not allowed to go here unless we tell you to, unless we give you the okay. It says the first comprehensive system in the nation that coordinated health checks, COVID-19 tests, and vaccinations in one online tool. So this is from February 22nd. And the article from Yahoo talking about European Union was from March 1st. Notice how they're talking about doing it somewhere else and then the other side of the world or across the Atlantic Ocean. And then at the same time, they're like, we're going to see if we can implement this somewhere in the United States on a smaller scale. So you have the micro and macro levels. In a statement, the district called digital, a digital. I'm getting confused now. In a statement, the district called Daily Pass a critical component of Los Angeles Unified's safe steps to safe schools reopening plan. Just open the fucking schools, bro. You're no more safer than where you were last year. You're no more safer than where you were 10 years from now. Oh man, and this is from Fauci saying it in the past few months, which I know I covered in one of the episodes of the podcast, where he even said that, oh yeah, there's no reason why schools should be closed. Go ahead and open up schools. Okay, yeah, they're still closed, and I didn't realize how much schools are closed, man. Florida, Texas, we in our own world. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell you the rest of the states in the union, if there is an actual union. I don't know what to tell the rest of the so-called country of America, United States of America, but y'all in some other place, man. Yeah, I'm not about that life. It says the daily pass sets the highest standard possible for school safety. It says LAUSD Superintendent Austin Bootner. MERV 13 upgraded air filters in every school. What? So, before I even continue the rest of it, the first thought that should come to your head is, how come these filters weren't there before? That's my first thought. How come it was not there before? So upgraded filters in every school. COVID testing for all students and staff at least every week. And now the daily pass. Testing every week. Nobody even tests like that for HIV. Hell, you don't get tests like that for cancer. You don't get tests like that for heart disease. You don't get tests like that for the top 5 things that actually kill Americans and people around the world. You don't get tested like that, but you don't get tested for coronavirus, for COVID-19, for SARS-CoV-2. You don't even get tested for the common cold. You don't even get tested for the flu virus, for influenza. But don't worry, COVID-19 is way dangerous than all of them. Yet, the flu no longer exists. That says Los Angeles Unified is proud to lead the nation. Blah blah. Fuck all that. Daily Pass. Okay, Daily Pass. Oh my god. No wonder I saw the Microsoft ad. No coincidence, right? Daily Pass was developed with support from Microsoft Corporation. Yeah, another instance where we see the combination of tech companies and government. The Los Angeles Unified School District is what? Is that a union for teachers? Is that a public government institution? Kind of, it's clearly the school district and Microsoft going hand in hand, and not to give everybody a Microsoft Surface tablet. Is to develop the Daily Pass. It says that it can be accessed from any mobile phone, tablet, or computer. The district said. So what actually is the Daily Pass? Okay, the Daily Pass generates a unique QR code for each student and staff member, and that code authorizes entry to a specific LAUSD location for that day only. So based on your test results, your vaccination test results, or I'm sorry, your COVID-19 test results, based on whether or not you've been vaccinated and all this other stuff, it lets you know where you can go at in a specific location for that day only. And this is an everyday thing. Digital Green Pass, just in a smaller micro level. Yeah, just on a smaller micro level. Almost like it's just a human social experiment. Almost like they're just saying, let's see if we can get away with this. What will happen? Let's see if we'll face any resistance. Let's see how many laws we can implement. Will anybody notice this? That's what it comes down to me. Is what I'm seeing. That's how I'm reading this. It says as long as the individual receives a negative test result for COVID-19, shows no symptoms, and has a temperature under 100 degrees. So kids in Los Angeles will not be allowed to go to certain places within the district and certain locations. So you're talking about after school activity, you're talking about sports, you're talking about in school activities, or probably, I don't know, different parts of say you got a big school campus, a high school that's built like a college, and you can only go to a certain part of the campus based on whether or not you got passed for a COVID-19 test, or you got a negative test and you have no symptoms. So what if you have a negative test and you just got symptoms of the common cold? I don't know, running nose. Maybe you've been sneezing a little bit. Maybe your eyes a little puffy red. You get a negative COVID-19 test, but you have symptoms, so they're like, "Oh, well, you can't go nowhere." And you're like, "Well, I don't have COVID-19, yeah, but we don't care. You're still not going nowhere." Well, it's just a little sniffle, just a little runny nose. I'll be fine later on. Nah, it doesn't matter. You can't go where you need to go today. And this is on a small scale, so at some point in time they will expand it to a larger area, affecting people's lives. This is affecting students' lives, man. Students, families, and employees can access Daily Pass at their little stupid website. Students and employees should use their students and employees should use their Los Angeles unified logins. That's not for me, man. It's not for me. It's not for my kids. What you want to do with you and your kids and your family members, that's up to you. But for me, that's a no go. That's I'm not. It's funny. Have I ever been to Los Angeles? I don't think I've ever been to Los Angeles. I've been to California. I've flown in there. I think I've flown in San Francisco, and I left at Travis Air Force Base. I rode a military flight back to Hawaii and then to Guam. That's when I was stationed in Guam. I never had no desire to go to Los Angeles. I never had no desire to go to New York City. All these big metropolitan areas, I never really had no desire. Even though I understand they have historic value, I never had no desire to go there. I don't. Something just doesn't sit right about me. That's not disrespect. That's not a jab at any of those people that live there. I'm just saying, for me, I don't know. Something about the way, I don't know. It's a little too crowded. It's a little too much going on there. It's not for me. And it's funny to see that those places are one of the first places to be shut down and stuff like that. And you got pictures of New York City look like a ghost town. Makes you wonder. Bye bye New York City, right? So we have an article here from Forbes. It says Warren proposes, so that's Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, proposes tax on the 100,000 richest Americans. We talked about before, the Marxist agenda is creating is creating two separate classes. You have not your working class. You have your bourgeois class. Your it's trying to get rid of the social elites, as far as your businesses, your wealthy people. It's trying to get rid of them, because what they're setting up for is the government takes over, and then you have the regular working people. So it's the government and then everybody else. You have your rulers and your followers. That's what they're trying to set up when you talk about socialism, communism, when you're talking about Marxist ideologies, and as far as in the sense of governance. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts. Wait a minute, I thought she was from Oklahoma or something. What? Whatever. And other progressives introduced legislation to tax the net worth of the richest Americans on Monday, framing it as a way to fund the sweeping federal spending programs proposed by President Joe Biden and other Democrats. So that right there alone lets you know that in order to fund all these programs, so everybody wants the $1,400 checks or $2,000 checks, $600 checks, all these fundamental aids and everything like that, it lets you know that your taxes are paying for that. Your taxes are also paying for all the black projects that they're doing. Your taxes are also paying for the gender studies that go to the Pakistani government that they heard people talk about this past December, as far as when they were trying to pass the NDAA over the last couple of weeks of December and stuff like that. Your National Defense Authorization Act. How can someone support this? And trust me, this is coming from someone that was like, oh yeah, fuck the rich, they should pay a lot of taxes too, blah blah. I had to catch myself on that because I was like, that's actually not cool at all. Because if I don't want to have to pay taxes, and I know taxes are unconstitutional, illegal, you're just taking people's money, then that goes with everybody. Whether you have $1 billion or where you have $1 or $100, nobody, the government shouldn't just be taking your money to fund things that you don't know about, regardless. And that's I'm a guy that's you could call me a centrist at one point in time for the most part. We talk about your political spectrum, but then I realized, wait a minute, fuck this whole political ideology and stuff. No, just leave me alone. I'll govern myself, which I guess you can call me a libertarian. I don't like that word because I don't want to identify with no labels or anything. I don't like groupthink and labels and categories, but my mindset is I can govern myself. I can tell myself what to do. Only thing we need to come to agreement on is trade, uh, free and fair trade markets. That's it. I don't understand the point of government because we know these people don't really do nothing all day. It's like, I'm working hard today. Working hard how? Answering emails? Because we were talking about working hard. There's a part of the population that works hard mentally, and there's a part of the population that works hard physically and mentally. And there's a part of a population that just works more physically. So when you talk about your senators and stuff like that, oh, we're working really hard. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are y'all getting paid $100,000 a year to do what? Answer some emails, talk to a couple people, say a bunch of fake speeches, have a bunch of lies, propose new legislation that no one fucking asked for. Did anybody ask for this? Did we the people get to vote on this legislation as far as dealing with the federal government? It's funny, we're a Democrat Republic, so we can vote for different amendments and laws in your local and state government. But when we're talking about the federal government, we don't get to vote on these laws and stuff. The sad part is, I don't even know we should be able to vote because, shit, some of y'all, some people out there, some of these NPCs, I'm questioning, should they be able to vote or do anything? It just, it's like, what's going on in everybody's head? It says the bill would impose a 2,000% annual tax on the net worth, the total value of assets after debts are subtracted, of households and trusts above 50 million. Don't those people already pay more in taxes because they make more money? I don't like taking away people's money because if I don't want my money to be taken away, then I cannot be a hypocrite and say other people should take away money. And that's something I had to look at myself in the mirror and literally say, hey, what are you talking about when we say we hate the 1%? Like, don't get mad at people for being to have money. I had to look at myself and say, hey, you sound like a hypocrite, guy. You're mad at those people for making money, but don't you also want to make some money? Granted, I don't want to make millions of dollars, but I also want to make money that I'm comfortable at the same time. If I end up being put in a different tax bracket and I have to pay more in taxes, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm pissed off now if I have to pay taxes. And I don't care if it's $1,000 or a couple of $1,000. I'm like, damn, I ain't trying to pay as much taxes. So if I think taxation and stuff is unconstitutional, then excuse me, that goes for everybody. I gotta stop chugging my protein shake before I get on the show. Just chugging a bunch of air. Oh God, it's bad. I don't like this, man. And they're literally telling us that the money's gonna go to the federal programs. So we're gonna take away the wealthy class, and to do what? That money, you think that money actually gonna be recycled, go down to the unwealthy to create equality? No, it's just gonna make everybody broke. It's gonna put us all on a level playing field where we're all broke at the bottom, and the state and the government, they're at the top. These politicians aren't supposed to be living in mansions. You're not supposed to be a career politician like a Joe Biden, be in office for 47 something years or 40 something years. Like that's not a thing. You shouldn't be a career politician. Your net worth shouldn't be going up when you're just in politics. Politics is not a career choice. I don't think people realize that politics, activism is not a career choice. It's a thing that you do. You shouldn't make money off of it. You shouldn't be a political activist or a social activist, social justice warrior, whatever you want to call them, and you get 40,000, 50,000 a year because you get paid to speak at different places. Why? What are you doing other than just giving your opinion? If you want to make money, go ahead and start your own podcast, get your own radio show, do something like that. Don't sit here and act like you care about the world and stuff because you can make some money off of it. There's a lot of mischievous, devious people out there. And it's like, to me, the problem with all this is people want to feel good, but the people that are trying their hardest to be a good person, and I don't want to say trying their hardest to be a good person, but there's a lot of people just out there faking it. They want to sound like they're a good person, but don't actually know what that means and don't really care what that means. They just want to give off the image of being a good person. So, your people that upload things on social media, hell, this could be you. This could be your friend, family member. This could be anybody. I have to check myself too. Like, that's why I say I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person. I'm trying to be a good person, but I don't necessarily know what a good person is. So I'm just going to keep on digging. I try my best not to be a hypocrite. I try not to honest. I try not to lie. I try my best to be honest. I try my best to be genuine. But I'm trying to be a good person, but I don't think I'm a good person. I don't think I'm a good person. I'm trying, and I'm okay with that. Because I had to come to that realization, like, I'm probably not the best person I think I am. I don't think I'm a good person. But I'm going to try to be a good person, and that's all I can be. Because who determines who's good and who's bad? And obviously, if I'm not out here murdering and raping little kids and stuff, I mean, that's good, right? But then again, the bar is set kind of low as well. Once again, we're talking about the evolution of the species. Where are we going as far as our evolutionary track? Taking money from other people that obtain money legally to fund the federal programs, and those federal programs does not necessarily mean it takes money and gives to the poor. And is that what we really want? Does that make us better? Well, you have your Robin Hood, not the Robin Hood app, but your whole mythology, legend, Robin Hood and stuff. Rob the rich to give to the poor. It's actually kind of fucked up when you think about it, right? Obviously, if the rich got obtained their money on some illegal things, so that, well, yeah, then you should take it. Actually, you should take them down, and then figure out how to distribute the money, and not necessarily give it to the poor either. Because the poor, if someone, we also look at poor people as if they're good people. You can have poor people that are bad people. Oh man, that might be too controversial for me to say. But I'm gonna fucking say it anyways. You can be poor and still be a shitty person. Your wealth does not determine whether or not you're a good human being or a bad human being. We like to think it is, because when we hear somebody like a Bill Gates, oh, Bill Gates is such a great person. Why? Because he has billions of dollars. Do you actually know him? Do you actually know him? I had a teacher, one of my accounting teachers last year. He was like, he posed a question, who did more for humanity, a Bill Gates or a Mother Teresa? And I was like, Mother Teresa, because Bill Gates just has money. And the other person in class was like, well, Mother Teresa didn't contribute anything. Bill Gates did a lot around the world. I'm like, really, he didn't do nothing. Then when I thought about it, I went home and thought about it, I was like, you know what? The fuck did Mother Teresa do it too? And some people might be like, oh no, Mother Teresa's a saint. Yeah, just because they made her a saint, I don't know. What is she doing? Because there's also some things out there that say that she was involved in human trafficking, child trafficking. I mean, the best people in the world are trying to show you that they're the best people in the world, probably because they're hiding something. But I try to see the best of people, but I don't like human beings, man. They do a lot of shady things, man. A lot of shady stuff. This right here, this whole little legislation is kind of shady to me. Let me take money from rich people so I can fund the government programs, and not necessarily meaning these government programs go to poor people or unprivileged people or whatever words you want to use to look down upon people, because that's what essentially you're doing. And I want to give it to these people. How about opportunities? How about knowledge? Oh, is the money gonna go to make it be able to pay college tuition for everybody? So you're gonna steal money from other people to pay for college tuition for other people? I don't want stolen money, man. taxing someone and stolen money. I don't want someone stolen money. People get mad about, oh, Trump, you know, he didn't pay that much in taxes. Well, shit, you shouldn't either, bro. That's the whole point. That's the whole goal. Nobody should be paying these taxes, man. You have a tax on sales and other things that are already taxed, gas tax. There's a whole bunch of taxes that already exist that fund a lot of these things. Why you need this? Is it even calling for an income tax? Let's see. It says a 1% surge would apply to those with net worth above 500 million under the so-called ultra millionaire tax. Who the fuck comes up with these damn names, man? You know they sitting there doing lines of code like, oh yeah, sniff it up. Oh yeah, this sounds good, bro. This is a good idea. Yeah, ultra millionaire tax. That's a good name. I can't. It says it would apply to the wealthiest 100,000 households in America. Oh man. The Biden administration has dismissed the proposal for a wealth tax, complicating the path for the bill to become law. Oh man, I don't like things like this, man. I don't like things like this. That's just my opinion on it. We'll kind of keep an eye on this and do some more reporting on it later on, or give my opinion more on it and see where it goes about it. This I don't like the idea of taking someone's money to fund federal government, to fund programs, to fund for, I don't know, them to do their black op projects and kill people around the world and make a whole separate colony on Jupiter or Ios or Ion or one of the damn moons of Jupiter or Saturn or wherever, Europa, wherever they're trying to be at that they ain't trying to talk to us about, because you know there's water on Europa underneath the ice. Probably didn't know about that, huh? So you have here an article from on MSN's website, but it's from Newsweek. So another thing, just like how I don't like Black History Month, I don't like Women's History Month either. Why putting something into a month is stupid. It's commercialization of a holiday or some type of thing to celebrate, so you can make banners and products and stuff to sell to people. If you want to support something for history, well, guess what? Just do it. Just incorporate it into regular history all the time, because that makes too much sense. I know. It says, what is Women's History Month and what are its origins? This is shocking to me because I didn't know this shit existed. I heard about it, but I ignored it. I ignore it like I ignore Spanish Heritage Month or Spanish Music Month or whatever other month. Pride Day done turned to Pride Month. Y'all kiss my ass with all these different months and celebration. You know what happens when we have a White History Month? I want someone to come out and say it's a White History Month. In fact, I think I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna start posting it. Like, yeah, we need January, December, just to piss people off. December because of Jesus Christ. December, Jesus Christ, Christmas, Jesus' birthday, White History Month. Just to piss everybody off. December, I'm starting a movement, petition, whatever. December is now White History Month. People are gonna get so mad, but December is now White History Month because of Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ is blonde hair, blue eyes, white. December is White History Month. Somebody's gonna call me a coon, Uncle Tom. Somebody's gonna call me a house nigga. All types of words. It's gonna be hilarious though. Because hey, that's equality, is it not? That's equality, is it not? Because if you're saying, oh well, white people get to celebrate history all the time, well, all right, well now let's go ahead and give a separate a month for white history, a month for black history, a month for brown history, a month for red history, a month for yellow history, a month for purple history, a month for green history. You have your LGBT Pride Month. You have your Spanish Heritage Month. Let's have a Native American month, right? Let's have all these different things, man. Fuck it. Let's just do it. Why not? Because that's the way we're going. This is where people want. even though nobody wants this, but this is what mainstream media is telling us to do. So let's go ahead and do it. And we're gonna go down this ridiculous path. Fuck it, let's go full throttle, step on the gas, and just go head first into this shit. As we crash into a tree or probably fall off a cliff, and there goes humanity, because that's what it feels like. Humanity is going on a one-way, dead-end, off a cliff path to just extinction by design, self-destruction of all logic gone out the window. Hell, if we are actually being logical, who knows? Man, that was a quick rant. I probably shouldn't have went on. Whatever. So it says March is celebrated as Women's History Month in the United States, because only the United States come up with some dumb shit like this, during which time women are honored and recognized for the impact they made on society throughout history. I guess we're talking about United States history. We're not talking about human history, because kind of wouldn't be here without women popping them out your vagina. We wouldn't be here, but whatever. The observance is recognized in the United Kingdom, of course, and Australia, because those three places go hand in hand. While people in Canada recognize Women's History Month in October. Well, why October? What's going on, Canada? Why October? Women's History Month originally began as an observance of International Women's Day, almost like Pride Day. Notice how it turns from one day to a whole month. Commercialization, which falls on March 8th every year. It all started after thousands of women rallied in New York City for better working conditions and the right to vote in 1908, leading members of the Socialist Party to launch an even big... I just now realized what I read. I understand that this is not a jab, this is not a shot. Of course, women should have the right to vote. I mean, voting is kind of bullshit, because once again, your vote don't count. But hey, everyone should feel like they can contribute in some form or manner, even though you're not really contributing too much to the overall, because you're not allowed to give your ideas and speak out too much to different things. But whatever, you want to go with the right to vote. I'll go along with it. You should have the right to vote as well. Everyone should have the right to vote. It shouldn't have been just white, straight male, or whatever the case may be. But that goes without saying. That's obvious. That's obvious, because if you're trying to be a decent human being, like I said, I'm not even trying to be a good one. I'm just trying to be a decent one. If you're trying to be a decent human being, then these things go without obvious. These things go without question. It's obvious, right? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the whole commercialization, because it's taking something natural, or something organic rather, something that's not manufactured, and then someone comes along and corporizes it and makes it worse. It says right here, leading members of the Socialist Party. Did I not just say a socialist takeover moving towards communism? I didn't buy that shit either for the longest, but shit, it's right in your face. A Socialist Party to launch an even bigger gathering of suffragists and women rights groups for the first International Women's Day in 1909. Socialism shouldn't even exist in a so-called free society, where the government is not in control of you. In a constitutional republic, how does socialism even exist? America almost got so free to the point they allow all types of different ideologies to come in here, which is the whole point of a free society. But you also know it's the takeover as well. It says by 1911, women in other countries joined the moment, I guess trying to say the movement, and began marching in honor of International Women's Day in Germany, Australia, Denmark, and Switzerland. Germany, Australia, or Austria, Germany, Australia, World War I, World War II. The holiday didn't receive formal worldwide recognition until the United Nations commemorated the day in 1975. 2 years after that, the United Nations gave the date an official recognition by deeming it an international holiday. How the fuck does the United Nations make it an international holiday? So it's an international holiday based on all those countries that are involved in the United Nations. So if you live outside the United Nations, you have no association with the United Nations. You don't have to worry about celebrating this international holiday. Notice how all these stuff, these social experiments, because literally what? Socialist party, these social experiments start in one area and then it goes global. Almost like it's by design. And it's like 3 years to do initially, and then a couple decades to fully accomplish. You see how they go? They go from a small micro level and try to implement something, and then if it works, they expand it to the macro level, time and time again. And if you're saying, yeah, okay, well, this is okay, there's nothing wrong with it, that's the thing, though. It's the difference when it's a organic, natural thing where we all sitting here and we're having a public discussion, and we, as a society, move along towards this, as opposed to this being forced upon us by government institutions. They're forcing the evolution of the human species on the micro level, thus affecting the macro level. Your cause and effect. If we could do this on a macro level, let's see if it will affect the micro level. And we can do this on a micro level, let's see if this will affect the macro level. To just seeing what they can get away with. Because it sounds good. It all sounds good. But really it's demeaning. Because you should incorporate history as far as women and the overall history of women throughout human history all the time. These things should be talked about all the time, where you talk about history, history is history. Not just his story, but we're talking about going over factual evidence and knowing that there are no concrete things or concrete facts or concrete truths on a lot of issues when we're talking about events or whatever that happened in the past in history. It says, as for Women's History Month in the U.S., it began a week-long observance in the U.S. as the feminist group noticed that the lack of women achievement is being taught in school curriculums. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Then the push should be for, we need to have more incorporation of women's history throughout the school curriculum, throughout the whole school calendar year. Not, oh, let's have a month. To me, that's degrading to say, oh, your history, we could scale this shit down to a fucking month. Like, how is that not degrading? How is that not looking down on something? Saying, oh, your history is so important that we'll give you a month. For Black history is so important that we'll give you the shortest month of the year. Women's history is so important that we'll give you just 1 month. Don't worry, White History Month is coming in December, so we'll celebrate that then. So it says, one group of Sonoma County, California, presented the idea of Women's History Month in the late 1970s in an effort to convince schools to spend more time teaching the impacts of women throughout history, according to the National Women's History Alliance. They timed the observance to International Women's Day events that had already been established by the United Nations. So there goes your history of Women's History Month. And it goes on to talk more and more about whatever. What stands out the most to me is we talked about the whole transgender thing and stuff. And we talked about labels and categories. So you have something like this, like Women's History Month. How does Women's History Month explain men that identify as women? Do they count part as celebrating Women's History Month? Do transgender women count as being part of Women's History Month? Is women's history about women, or is it about trans women too, which is nothing but a man identifying as a woman, or a man that decided to cut his nuts and his nuts off and his dick off to become a woman? To each your own. You do whatever you want to do. I'm sorry if I happen to make a joke about it. Shit is hilarious to me. It's funny to me. But I also think a lot of things are funny. This is the same guy who sits here and makes fun of himself as well. So if I'm not above making fun of myself in a joking manner, and just because I make a joke doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative manner. It's funny to me because it's like kind of irrational. You can never actually be a woman. And that's why I say identify as women, because they know you can never be a woman. So they're acknowledging the science behind the biology, the physiology of a male and a female. But at the same time, they're saying, nah, don't worry about it. They say identity. You identify as a woman because they know that you can't be an actual woman. And they say trans women, saying you're transitioning into a woman, but if you're not a trans woman, you're not a man transitioning into a woman, you'll just be a woman. You wouldn't be a trans woman. Pay attention to the wordplay. You can't be a transitioning woman. You would just be a woman. And if you're going from one man to a woman, then how is that possible? If the end game is not just to be recognized as a woman. So you have an article here from the Daily Dot, which I never heard of in my life, which probably means it's something that I just don't pay attention to. And this article is old, from January 27th. And I was watching Quartering, Jeremy from the Quartering on YouTube and stuff. I like some of the contents and things that he talks about. It's a lot. It's not. It's usually he talks about stuff I have no idea what's going on. It's sometimes comic book stuff and video games, and sometimes other things like Twitch streamers, things I don't even know about. But I like to collect information. But I seen that it said something about women with an X, and I was like, I don't what? Because I thought it was misspelled. I was like, hey, yeah, the editor messed up, Jeremy. You messed up spelling your title and stuff, or your video. But no, as I listened to the video, I was like, oh my god, this is a real thing. I had to pause the video and go look this up, and I found this article. So women, WOMYN, women, WOMXN, and women, WOMEN. What's the real difference? What? So you have women spelled with an E, women spelled with an X, and women spelled with the Y. And it's saying, what's the real difference? Misspelling, because if I type this in on my iPhone and stuff, Apple gonna tell me I fucked up. Apple Siri gonna tell me, hey, autocorrect, you misspelled women, guy. You know things is messed up when right now I go to type, because when I went to go type in the title and just sharing it out and putting it up on D Live and all the other stuff, it kept trying to correct the misspelling of women with an X. And maybe because I capitalized it. That's even more creepy, because if it's because I capitalized it, then that's the X capitalized. That means they're accepting the misspelling of women. But it says, perhaps you have lately seen the words women spelled with an X and women spelled with a Y emblazoned across the chest at, say, the Women's March, and wondered, what do these creative spellings mean? What? Creative spelling? I can't. I can't. I'm not gonna make it through this article. This is the last thing I have to cover. I'm not gonna make it, bro. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this article. It's that fucking creative spelling. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, all right. Just collect yourselves. Collect yourselves. This is what happens when you do things live. That's why I do it live. This is honest. This is honest right here. This is an honest reaction to this. If I piss somebody off, well, I pissed you off. You'll be all right. You'll get over it, bro. Okay, it says, or perhaps you've seen that shirt that lists 3 different takes on the word women and smile to yourself at the innovate. I can't. 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 I don't. I don't think I can make it. I don't. I don't think I can make it, bro. I don't. I don't think I can make it, man. I don't think I can make it. Smile to yourself at the innovative interpretation without regarding too much into the quote unquote X replacing the traditional quote unquote E. Well, gather around. Here are your study materials condensed rather. Innovative interpretation. One common misconception about feminists is that they hate men. Full stop, no exceptions. They hate each and every one. For some people, this is probably true and likely they're okay. I don't care about that. Among certain feminists, then it rankles that our socially assigned gender signifier remains bound or even subordinate to man MAN and men MEN. As Hello Flow explains, I don't know what that is. Swapping out the E helps sever ties to the patriarchy, as the Women's Center puts it. The word woman, spelled with an A, refers to a man, implying that a woman's identity is inherently reliant on man. In spelling women with a Y, we recognize that women have a diverse and different identities and roles, which are not all defined by our relationship to men. Our dictionaries. I can't even try to explain that. I can't even try to explain the logic behind that. I mean, you know what? And as I'm reading that, it made me think of this. Uh, XY chromosome. XY chromosome. Y chromosome. Each human cell contains 23 pairs of chromosomes that carry DNA within their nucleus. The X and Y chromosomes, commonly referred to as the sex chromosomes, are one such. Males typically have two different kinds of sex chromosomes, XY, and are called a heteromaggot, whatever sex. I'm saying that all wrong. In humans, the presence of the Y chromosome is typically responsible for the triggering male development. So science, right? Science. XY chromosomes. Y, alluding to male development. Male development. Women spelled with a Y. We recognize that women have diverse and different identities and roles which are not at all defined by our relationship to a man. Yet, women spelled with a Y. Y literally means, or not literally, but Y, you can have an association of Y. XY chromosome, male. So really, you shouldn't have women spelled with a Y if you're trying to disassociate yourself with males or a man, as far as you're trying to figure out what word to use for women. You know what? I'll give you that argument. I'll give you that argument. You want women being tied to man? I'll give you that argument. I'll give you that. Why use Y though? That's not confusing, huh? Why use the letter Y when you have XY chromosome, which is associated with the Y chromosome, the male development in DNA of a male human being? So really, you'll just have the WOMXN version, anyways. But yet, because XX is the chromosomes for women, as far as the DNA of the nucleus, right? Or nuclei. So at the same time, you can't even do that either because XY and is there still an XY for men? Why does it even matter? Why does it even matter? Why does it even matter? It's like they're literally going out their way to make shit up just to create a more divide. I'm not reporting on this. It's not just alone to say how ridiculous this is. My report on this is say, stop, man. They're constantly trying to make things up to create a divide. Once again, we talked about the Marxist agenda. The destruction of the nuclear family, the mother gone, the father gone. The kids are being raised by the government, by the state, within public schools. That's what they're trying to do, because then if you divide up everybody, they're more easy to conquer. Population control. It's not just about affecting the numbers of the population, but it's literally about controlling the population psychologically, physically, mentally, spiritually. They're trying to control us because that's what you would do. If you think that you're at the top 1% or you're at the less than 1% of the population, you think that you know what's best for everybody because when these people are in office and government, doesn't matter who's there, you pay attention to their verbiage, pay attention to what they say. I pay attention sometimes to what these presidents say, whether it's a Trump or Obama, and if they're saying, "Hey, you can figure it out," I'm like, "All right, that's kind of what I want to hear." As opposed to saying, "No, people don't know what they're doing. They need to do this." I don't like what you're saying. You think that you know best. I'm not even talking about necessarily a dictatorship or a totalitarian government or anything like that, or president. When someone thinks that they know what's best for you, the individual, that's when I say, what are you doing? You don't know what's best for someone else. Let that person determine and figure out what's best for them. My friends, family members, they talk to me about different things, and I tell them like, hey, I don't give advice. I just be like, in the past I've given advice because people ask for it and stuff, but really the best advice I ever gave anybody, and what I probably I want to say I don't want to quote myself, but as an exact statement, but I feel like for the most part, I always tell everybody you'll figure it out, and it's not a sense of I don't care. No, it's more of a hey, you know what? I believe in you. Believe in yourself. You'll figure this shit out. You're smart. You're intelligent. Whatever words you want to use to define your intelligence in a positive manner, you're that. You'll figure it out. I don't know what's going on. Don't worry. Just relax. You'll figure it out. You always do. You just don't notice it. You just don't realize it. Everything in life always works out. You just don't realize it because you focus on the negative moments. So when I hear this thing talking about women spelled with a Y and women spelled with an E, it's like, why? This is once again done by design, only to create more divisiveness. Because they literally talk about we gotta divide up each other and stuff. Well, it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. You're a human being. You're a human being. You're a human being. If we want to get hell, you want to get away from saying human and woman or man and woman. I don't know. Come up with a different word. Let's all call each other Homo sapien sapien. Hey, you Homo sapien sapien. Hey, you Homo sapien sapien. Because where are we going with this? Because we're trying to divide up more, but we're not trying to come together. And you know what? I am going to laugh at the ridiculousness of all of it because it is ridiculous. It says, although they technically serve the same basic purpose, women spelled with a Y and women spelled with an X come with different connotations. How? Women with the Y is associated more with the often white cisgender sector of the feminist movement. See, what I'm talking about, you're dividing up amongst their own feminist group. So, oh my God, white women. So women with the Y is associated more with, are more often with white cisgenders. Cisgender, I get, is straight, I believe, heterosexual sector of the feminist movement, while women with an X denotes gender fluidity and inclusivity. You're trans women. So trans women is with an X who aren't really women, who are identifying as women, but we're incorporating them as women with an X. Even though you're giving them the X saying that X cancel out, no, they're not actually women. So you're also kind of mocking them at the same time. Yeah. You can't make logical sense out of it. And this is what I wanted to point out. That none of this shit makes logical sense. It sounds good. It makes you feel good from an emotional standpoint, but that's it. It doesn't actually make logical sense. It's not. It's definitely not based on science or anything. If anything, why not come with a whole new word that incorporates just human beings in general? I, whatever, man. I'm sorry, but I can look and tell if you're a woman, and I can look and tell if you're a male. For the most part. For the most part. Because what we're doing, even with race, we're not actually looking at skin tone. You notice that? I was talking to my daughter last night. She brought up a good point. She saw something on TikTok, something about the lightest person, the darkest person in the world is a black person. And I was like, you know what? That actually makes sense because when we look at race and skin color and stuff, we're not actually looking at skin color alone. We're looking at facial features. We're looking at physical features. So we're looking at male or female. We're looking at boobs, hips. We're looking at their butt. Is their butt big? Because their butt big, their hips are big. And then guess what? They're a woman because they're able to have a big enough, or wide enough rather, pelvic bone to, push out kids. Because no matter what I do, no matter what sex change operations I have, I will never be able to biologically get pregnant and give birth to a child. I will never be able to be a woman. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. There's simple science. There's simple biology. My bone structure will not be the same as a woman because I will never be able to push out a child. It's funny that you have this going on in Women's History Month. Meanwhile, you're literally canceling out women. Like women are just going away. Especially when you talk about transgender sports and stuff, whatever. It only benefits men. You understand that? Because a woman is not trying to go into a male dominated sport. Oh, you can have Sarah Fuller get on the football field and kick a football, even though she never kicked the football until then. She ain't finna get out there and get hit. Because if a man beats on a woman, everyone feels sad about it, and that's bad. Or if a man sexualizes a woman, or sexual harassment towards a woman is bad and stuff. But if a man sexualizes or sexually harasses another man, it's not spoken on the same. Or if a woman sexually harasses another man, it's not spoken on the same as well. This stuff is all about emotion. It's not about logic. It's not about reason. It's about emotion. And it's done by design to make everything turn upside down, which I showed you guys the Yuri Bezmenov uh, clip from his interview. Go back and check that out. Go look on the YouTube, whatever, look it up and stuff. Watch the full documentary or the full interview rather. It was just like an hour or some minutes long. I think an hour and like 30 minutes long. Check out the whole thing and notice that that was back in 1984, and a lot of stuff you're seeing is done by design. Notice people that come from those other countries, Venezuela, places in Latin, South America, stuff like that. People that have been around communism, socialism. They're like, that's how it started over there, and they're seeing the same similarities happen over here. Pitbull talked about it, and Trump talked about it. People were talking about it. Obviously, do your own research. Don't listen to people that are talking about it. But what I'm saying is, there's something going on here, man. Oh, it does say something. Does it say something about trans? Okay, okay. Let's see. Did I skip the rest of that? No. Okay, so it says women with a Y meaning and origin. According to the Boston Globe, fuck them. The word women with a Y traces back to a 1975 issue. What? A 1975 issue of Lesbian Connection magazine that announced the Wolf Creek Women's with a Y Festival, or today's Wolf Fest, the Radical Feminist Festival. Among its principles, the Women's Liberation Front proclaims, "We are a women-only organization. We are females who survived girlhood," which is to say that transgender women aren't welcome within Wolf Fest ranks. Makes sense to me. You're not a woman. You're not a woman, bro. You're not a woman. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go through puberty the way I went through puberty. You didn't have your first period. You have, had to worry about bleeding out your vagina in the middle of class and stuff when you're 12, 13, 14 years old. You didn't have to worry about running to the bathroom or having stains on you and stuff. You didn't freak out like that, did you? You didn't go through that thing. Yet you just want to identify as a woman. That's kind of fucked up, right? Claiming that you're something that you never went through. Once again, there's nothing. I would say there's nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna say there's nothing wrong with that. We have to question this, man. And if a person feels this way, we have to question, why do you feel that way? That's really what it comes down to. Because it's funny, because when I say stuff like this, some people can adopt it as a transgender, misogynistic, or transphobic, or whatever words you want to use to say that I don't like trans people, whatever. And no one has yet to call me out on it, or not call me out. No one has yet to say those things about me. Knock on wood. Nah, I'm not gonna knock on wood. I'm sure somebody's gonna say it or whatever. Maybe of course, I haven't hit no level of status where people are gonna notice it too much, I guess. But you have to question, why does a man want to become a woman? And why does a little boy want to become a little girl? We have to sit there and say, hey, why don't you like who you are? That's really what it comes down to. Why aren't you comfortable in your own skin? That's a legitimate question. That actually shows more compassion and more empathy than all these fucking people around the world that sit there and say, oh, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, you can be wherever you want. Yeah, you can be wherever you want. Yeah, but can I stop and ask, hey, why do you want to change who you are? Because you can't change who you are, right? I care about you. I'm trying to figure out, why do you think this way? And not in a sense trying to figure out, say something's wrong with you, but I'm like, what? Why don't you like who you are? Because we're talking about doing something that mess up the physiology of your body, doing something that's gonna make you go through pain. Like people that transition from male to female or female to male, wherever the case may be, they're going through hormones, therapy and stuff like that. They're changing their hormones. They're affecting the way their voice sounds. They're affecting whether or not they try to have more estrogen and testosterone and vice versa. Like Yet you still cannot ever completely be a full woman. You can only kind of give the appearance of it, or the subtle appearances of it. Like I said, we talk about race, you talk about skin tone. You're not just talking about the skin tone. You're talking about the how big or wide someone's nose and nostrils is, the whether their lips are full, big, round, thin, the way their ears are, the way their eyes are. We're talking about physical characteristics that can change over generations depending on which environment you grow up in. Throughout generations rather. We're talking about a physical reaction to the environment around you. We're not talking about actual skin tone. So we're saying white, black, and stuff like that. We're not actually talking about white and black. That's why we make up these random stupid colors. They don't actually make sense. None of this stuff makes sense, man. None of this stuff makes sense. It says women with a Y is a term often tied to the vein of feminism that does not view trans women as women because were not born with female genitalia. No, because they can't get female genitalia. You can get something that looks like it, but you can't change your chromosomes, your XY chromosome, your DNA. That's the scary part because what they come out and all of a sudden, yeah, we can't change the adult DNA. Now we're fucking around with shit that I don't think we should be involved in. That's not in God level. It's just you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't mess with. I like science, but sometimes science can go too far. It says the term is not infrequently associated with another you may have seen. TERF, TERF, trans exclusionary radical feminist. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't, man. They're just making up terms, man. They're just making up terms. You probably, of course, trans rights are human rights. I don't even understand that concept. Just because you want to identify or do something to your body, you're still a human. Human rights are human rights. They're unalienable. They're not given by another human. That's it. That's it. So we should have rights for everybody. Rights for everybody are not given to anybody. No one can give you your rights. No one can take away your rights. Only thing that can happen is you can give up your rights. You can give up that control over your life. That's what we need to focus on is willingness for people to give up control of their life, whether it's for a COVID-19 vaccine or whatever the case may be, or your digital green pass, daily pass, stuff like that, or just the changing of words and stuff. Trans rights are human rights. Yes, I completely agree. Because human rights are human rights. You're a fucking human. You have some rights. Guess what? I also have the right to go out there and kill a cow and eat it too. Survival of the fittest. You don't think if it was the other way around, they wouldn't take the time to eat me. Doesn't mean I don't feel sorry. Doesn't mean I don't have compassion. Doesn't mean I don't have empathy. But hey, I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to survive. Because when you're trying to survive, there are no rules. You understand that? When you're trying to actually survive, there are no rules. Survive by any means necessary. I'm going to something different though. Let me not go on to that because there are no rules though. There are no rules though, man. I want to be a decent person. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to strive to be a decent person. You probably seen terms like Latinx. Latinx. No. Floating around in recent years as the Globe explains that X communicates that a person identifies neither as a man or Latin nor as a woman or a Latina. Instead, the X allows space for individuals who identify as gender fluid, gender queer, gender non-conforming, or non-binary. The X in women with an X works the same way. What? And as such opens up the free human woman concept to include trans women. I don't think I can read anymore because there's no understanding this because it doesn't make sense. Recognize you, the individual. I recognize you, the individual. If you tell me that you want to be called a woman and I think that you're a man, all right, cool. I still gonna think that you're a man, but out of respect for you, the individual, you the human, I'll call you what you want me to call you. Plain and simple. I might joke around, still call you a man though. I'm not gonna lie, just to fuck with you. But in all honesty, from one heart, from the bottom of my heart, if you tell me that you're a man and I'm like, no, you're not, and I tell you anyway, because knowing me, I probably would say that. But you're like, no, I am a man. I'm not a woman anymore, or I am a woman. I'm not a man. But all right, man, I'll call you by your pronouns, wherever you want to be called. But doesn't mean I agree with this shit. And that's what it comes down to. Just because I don't agree with this doesn't mean I don't care. Doesn't mean I don't have compassion. Doesn't mean I don't have empathy. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because it doesn't make sense. Because I'm looking at you, the individual. I'm looking at I can't Latin. I can't do this shit no more. I can't deal with that shit no more. It Why? You have to ask yourself exactly why. Where's the purpose of all this, and where does it stop? Where does it stop at? Because there seems to be no end in sight. We're knocking on the door to accepting pedophilia. And it's funny because it's something I never thought I would come into agreement with, but we're knocking on the door, man. Because we're trying to change words around, we're trying to change different things. And it's not a change that means anything. It's unnecessary. It really means nothing. Because there are males and there are females. From a scientific standpoint, that's literally there are males, there are females. There are things as a male I cannot do. I cannot breastfeed. You might call it chest feed, it doesn't matter. I still cannot breastfeed. Can't do it. And I have lactated from my nipples before. Surprise. Like I said, I'll make fun of myself. Right? That shit freaked me out when it happened, man. I was like, oh my God, this ain't normal. What's going on? Then kind of find out it happens sometimes. So they say, but I'm like, hey, fuck that. That shit still wasn't good. Who knows? Hormones in the food. That's probably why I am the way I am about GMOs and certain things in my food and about soy because hey, there's no reason for me to be having this coming out my nipples, bro. I don't. Oh, it happens sometimes. Who says the fuck who? Since when? I didn't learn this in school growing up. I didn't learn this in no puberty classes. I didn't ever seen this anywhere in no textbooks or nothing. Now all of a sudden, it's normal. It's okay if I lactate out of my left nipple at the age of 19. I was in Guam. I was just joining the military. I was just at my first base and that happened. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, it happens. I'm like, whatever, bro. This ain't gonna go away, man. Hey, it might happen medically, biologically speaking, whatever, but I don't know. Makes you also question. Maybe I ate a little too much McDonald's while I worked there. Maybe I ingested a little too much soy. Just saying. I'm calling myself out. I'm making fun of myself. Like I said, I'll make fun of myself. I'll make fun of you. Doesn't matter. It's all good nature though. It's all jokes. It's all laughs. But we gotta question what's going on here, man. And just a simple stop and questioning this does not make you a hateful, spiteful person. None of that shit. You're just being honest, man. Like I'm just trying to understand because what you're saying doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, I feel this way. I feel that way. Okay, you could feel that way all you want to, but objectively speaking, from my perspective, I see something different. Don't get mad at me. Logically speaking, what you're talking about doesn't make sense. I can't. There's no ration behind it. There's no logical explanation. There's no rationale behind it. You just gotta question these things, man. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Just question the shit. Question everything. Cause a lot of stuff seems to be a lie. But whatever, man. That's my thoughts. That's today's show. I won't be on tomorrow. I'll talk about it before as far as my little weed doctor appointment I gotta go to. I actually have family guests coming in and visiting and stuff. So, which, I probably would have noticed that if I ever return people's calls. So, obviously, bad on me. Probably should return people's calls, huh? So, got people coming in and stuff. And I don't know if I'll be doing a show or not. I probably won't be doing a podcast. I might try throwing some videos stuff over the next week or so. But hey, it gives you time to go back and check out my other podcasts if you choose to, and look at some of those topics and engage in some of those things or listen to it, wherever the case may be, for your own entertainment purposes, or maybe looking for some knowledge that you think I can share with you, wherever the case may be. Definitely go check out my website, DamienJackson22.com. I have all my social media links and podcast links there. You can follow me on YouTube and Odyssey to see check out my videos there. I guess I do have to say follow me, because I said before, as far as follow me, subscribe to me, whatever the words you want to use, because you're not gonna find it. I can't even find myself. I probably, especially if some big time news happens, I definitely gonna have to do a video. Obviously, I want to spend time with those people that are coming in, because they're people I love and care about and stuff like that. So I want to spend time with them and whatnot. But they're also going to be doing their own thing as well, because they're here for other reasons. So if I do have time, I might sneak in a video here and there or whatever. And if I do also have even more time, I'll throw in a podcast. But uh, follow me on social media. If you want updates, follow me on the website, wherever the case may be. Sometimes I forget to put stuff on the website. Sometimes I'll just put it on Twitter and Gab or something like that. But it is what it is. Definitely, I'll upload the podcast or check out the podcast, the live stream if you choose to. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. You have the audio version and the video version on YouTube. Odyssey audio version is on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else. I gotta make sure I remember to say all this stuff. I'm like, I forget sometimes. I do a horrible job marketing it. I do a horrible job marketing it, and it's intentional, because I just want to see what happens if I just don't do anything. I want to see how much this podcast can grow. Another social experiment. How much can this podcast grow? How much can my brand grow, and who I am, and the things I offer to people as far as entertainment value or information, wherever the case may be. How much can I grow just on basic old fashioned word of mouth? Or I don't say word of mouth, or just putting it out there, posting here and there and picking up things, because the people that I gotten to listen to this, not friends and family members, man. The people I gotten to listen to this is just me putting it out here on social media, using the hashtag and stuff. I just want to see, can you actually grow a following or whatever organically? Can you actually grow something organically in the digital world? So that's what I'm all about. And that's why I do such a shitty job marketing it. Enjoy the rest of your week. If I don't talk to you, if you don't hear nothing else from me as far as videos, stuff like that, I still probably update on social media, things like that. But enjoy the rest of your week. Have fun. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy friends and family members. Love each other. Take care of each other. All that good shit. So until next time.